Reflections by James Rufatt off his, originally off his 2008 album Cheyenne, and this is redone for his 2021 album Cheyenne Plus. And I'm really, really, really delighted to have James on the program with me today. And I've known James Rufatt for just over 7 years when I first heard him play at a Rotary event. And over the years, we've kept in touch just briefly, and I've enjoyed listening to his music. And when I was hosting a breakfast program, his Happiness Express was my outro. Now, James was born in 1970 and he received his first guitar at the age of 7. It wasn't until June 85 that James had 3 months of guitar lessons before performing on the Red Faces segment of Hey Hey It's Saturday a few weeks later. Yes, weeks, folks. And I can go on with a step-by-step dissertation of James's music career, but there's a lot more about him that I would like to bring to our listening audience. And we'll do that now. Welcome to Midweek Mornings for the first time on Zoom, James Rufatt. How are you?
I'm a virgin, Greg. Or virgin no longer. Good morning, Greg. How are you, mate?
Very good, thank you, mate. You were a virgin on Zoom the first time, but you're now an expert at it.
I'm experienced.
Yeah, very experienced. It's and I first met you. You had a guide dog, so I'm just trying to madly think at the top of my head his name, but you also have a new guide dog at the moment, don't you?
Yeah, back then it would have been possibly Edric or Kiros, my second one. Then I went on to have my third one, Waylon. He's 12 years old now. Yeah,
Waylon. It was Waylon I met.
Okay, and my new one, he's 3.5. He's Ivor.
Ivor, right. So before we start talking about your music, when did you grow up, and what have you done over the years professionally in business and that sort of thing?
I grew up in Richmond, in the Richmond area, then moved to the Prahran area, South Yarra area. Got married or met someone around about 92. Cheyenne's mother, in fact. Got married in 93. That's when we moved in to the northern suburbs of Melbourne, the Flemington, Ascot Vale, Many Ponds, right up to further north to Craigieburn. Did all that area. Then in around 2000, 2001, I moved on my own. I moved to the Essendon area.
Yeah, so it's that 20 years that you've been there, and you've become a bit of an institution. That there's a whole community of people in Puckle Street in Moonee Ponds that stop and listen to you play when you're busking. How long have you been busking?
Busking in Moonee and Puckle Street, it'd be 10 years last August. But busking right at the beginning was back in 92-ish. I was introduced to it by a friend who did busking himself. We went out one Friday night, and it was kind of fun, and it was easy money, it was entertaining, and had other benefits also, and I just stuck with it.
The great thing about it is a lot of people assume busking is an act of desperation. I'm of the other school that believe that incredibly talented people learn their skills in performing and entertaining and community relationships through busking, and it's a great thing to have on our streets. I would imagine you think the same way as that. I don't want to paraphrase what you think, but I would imagine that it would be the case.
Well, some people do view it as glorified begging. I tend to refer to myself as an entertainer, so I'm there entertaining people while they're going in and out of stores, shopping, or having a coffee at the cafe, and they can hear my music. I was just sitting down for a while, having a coffee, chatting up with friends and stuff, and they're entertained with my music in the background.
So have you started busking again since COVID has eased off a little bit?
Yes, I've been at it since we got released back in early November or late October, whatever it was. Yeah, I've been out since.
So, look, you're a multi-talented in music, but your passion is composing and playing guitar, and then playing your guitar. How many pieces do you think you've written?
Golly, perhaps 25, 30-ish.
Yeah.
I got cassettes. Remember those?
Yeah, I do remember.
I got cassettes way back from the early 90s that I recorded some lyrics, recorded some music. My intentions are to go through some of those next year and see what I can salvage out of those. A lot of them are incomplete pieces, but there's no reason why I can't finish them off and see what comes of those.
Was there any music in your family? Did you come from a family of musicians, or was there music within your family?
Not that I know of, no. But at the time, I did lose my vision. So back in 82, 83, I was about 12, 13. I had a friend who was my best friend at the time. His name was Diego. He played guitar, and he was a very funny chap. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do when I grow up. Play guitar and entertain. And well, fortunately for me, it came to pass.
James, and by the way, 96.5 InnerFM, this is Midweek Mornings. My name is Greg King, and I'm my guest, my very special guest, and for the first time he's ever been on Zoom, is James Rufatt. And if you've been around in the news, the Moonee Ponds area, or you've listened to this station and listened to this program, you'll know that I'm a big fan of James and what he plays and the music he plays. Your album Happiness Expressed back in 2014, that has got that rockabilly track, the title track, Happiness Express, which I've played many, many, many times. And I'm going to play again after we've finished this. Do you consider that to be your finest piece?
Oh, the Happiness, for an uplifting tune, yes. For more laid-back tunes, my more recent one, the Cheyenne Plus album, some pieces there. I really do like the more I hear it, my 2020 piece. It's a really impressive piece. The more I hear it, and I tend to think to myself, did I, was that me? But that's grown on me too. But the Happiness song, because it's it's happiness, it's happy theme and uplifting.
A rockabilly
lyrics, yes, the rockabilly dance move and all that. That's one of my favourites here.
This is one of my favourites as well, which is the Aphrodisiac Blues. And I'm just going to play a little bit of this in the background. Hang on a minute.
Sure.
This is really, really so good. It's 7.5 minutes thereabouts. But it's a fabulous piece. I really do enjoy that. Anybody who likes a bit of blues would also like that too, James.
Yeah, well, it's got everything. It's got the harmonica, it's got the lead guitar, it's got the guitar, it's got the wah-wah effect, which makes it sound, even better. So it's got a bit of everything in it.
Yeah. And as you know, well, here it is here. I just love that, mate. I just love that.
Yeah.
And just think it's fantastic. And I love playing it when I have a softer program. So anyway, well done. Congratulations. And yes, I think I also enjoy 2020 as well. I'm also intrigued with some of the things that you've with Cheyenne, your new album. But Cheyenne is also your first album. What you've done is re-released it with some new tracks. And Cheyenne is your daughter, is that correct?
Yeah, Cheyenne's my daughter. She's 24 now. Very shortly going on to 25. Cheyenne was recorded back in 2008. Cheyenne, the album that is. It was a over the weekend recording, so it was fairly quick. I was pretty much inexperienced, but I had a go. I thought I could do better, so all these years later, I thought, well, it's time to give that a go and re-record some of those, pretty much most of the tracks, several of the tracks from the original 2008 Cheyenne album. And they came out very well, very, very pleased with the sound. Sounds very sophisticated, very top-notch, and I'm very, very, very proud with the end result.
Well, I think that what you've put together, the new tracks that you've put together, I played, Reflections was an older track anyway from part of the original, but A Garden Stroll and Mistress are two new tracks that have got on the album. Of course, you mentioned 2020 before, and it was written during one of the lockdowns, hence the name, and it's... You think it's... I'm intrigued that you think it's good workout music. What do you mean workout music? What slow exercise?
Because originally the 2020 piece, that was inspired by the... I'm a real fan of the Good, Bad and the Ugly movie. There's a scene there, the cemetery scene, where two guys running through the cemetery, and the Passion of Gold, I think it's called. And that's the score. The movie score played in the background. And if you're not familiar with it, we'll just look it up on YouTube. It's called the Passion of Gold or something like that. You'll find it anyways. But that was the inspiration for the 2020 piece, and the end result of that was that it sounded very much like it belonged in one of the Rocky movies. Because it sounds like a good workout music.
And of course you work out to it, don't you?
Yes, I love it. Keeping in shape myself, absolutely. Yeah. Been doing that ever since I was a teenager.
Fantastic. Well, some of the things that you need to do. You mentioned that you brought your harmonica along. What about if I allow a minute of harmonica? If you're ready to go with that, let's see how that sounds on Zoom. So I'm going to leave it with you right now.
All right, we'll give it a go.
I'm going to be really, really intrigued to have a listen back to that to see how that come out. But it certainly sounded good to me through my headphones as well. So
Sure.
good on you, mate. So James, what does the future hold for you? What are you up to in the coming months and years?
Looking forward to just putting my feet up and do nothing next month during January. But next year, as I mentioned before, I'm going through those older tapes and see what I can retrieve out of those and make something, come up with some kind of music out of those. Otherwise, and also just start from scratch and start writing some music from scratch.
So whereabouts, just as we go out now, a little bit, where do you normally sit yourself up at Puckle Street so that people who are in the area can come and have a listen to you play? You're usually on a Friday, is that about right?
Usually Thursdays and Fridays, and sometimes there's a bonus on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I'm located just at near the entrance of the arcade. Across the road is Collins Bookstore. And I think it's still there. But anyway, it's in around that spot where the lights are.
Well, do you play Happiness Express every time you play?
I don't know. All I do is just play instrumental stuff with the guitar. I don't do singing, but I will get myself a microphone and start singing soon. And Happiness Express will be one of the ones I'll sing.
Well, we're going to go out with Happiness Express now. I want to thank you for joining me here on Midweek Mornings, James. It's great to be able to talk to you. The last time we were on the program many years ago, you came into the studio. It was see how much easier it is than for you to get a taxi and come in and get all of that sort of stuff. It's so wonderful to be able to talk to you on Zoom, and great to have you. And we're going to go out. So why don't you introduce the Happiness Express?
Okay, and just before that, thanks very much for having me, Greg, and it's been a pleasure, and thanks for the listeners for listening. And right now on Greg's midday, midweeks radio program, here is Happiness Express. Go for it, Gregory.
Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, affecting my mind,
yes, yeah. The Happiness Express, fabulous happy rockabilly music by James Rufatt, my guest on Midweek Mornings. And in his first time on Zoom, which is really, really fabulous. And good on you, James. Thank you very much for joining me here on Midweek Mornings on 96.5 InnerFM, where the time now is 10 minutes past 11. It's probably 10 minutes past 11 where you are. It's probably 10 minutes past 6 where Chuck is over there in Tucson, Arizona. And thank you. There we go. All right, let's continue on with the program. A great couple of messages and then some more tremendous music.
Our connections make powerful things happen.